Hi, I'm Joy. As you know, I love my Tesla Model 3. However, I've come across a design flaw that I want to make you aware of. I believe this design flaw would impact both Model 3 and Model Y right now. I hope that someday Tesla will figure out a better design to fix this issue so that it will not be reoccurring. What is this problem and the flaw? Well, many of us have noticed after owning our Model 3 or Model Y for a while that when we initially get into the car and turn on the AC, we would get a whiff of really terrible foul odor. Some people describe it as a dirty wet sock smell. To me, it's just something that smells rotten. It would come on really strongly for maybe a few minutes, but then it would go away. I've had my Model 3 for 3 years now, and I've already changed my air filters once in January of 2020. So that was about 18 months ago. I have not had this odor problem until now. And I also want to point out that I've never had this odor problem with any of my previous vehicles. I've owned Honda Accord, Nissan Maxima, and a BMW 328i before I got my Model 3. And none of those ICE cars, gasoline cars, had any of these issues. I've read online that people have been complaining about this mysterious odor coming from their air vents in their Model 3 and Model Y. And I have been crossing my fingers, hoping that I wouldn't be hit, but I got hit about a month ago. Granted, there are videos online that you can do air filter changes on your own DIY. But I dug in a little bit deeper and found out that just simply changing the air filters wouldn't make this odor problem go away. I actually have already shot this whole video documenting the entire process of changing out my air filters along with cleaning the evaporator, which is part of the culprits of this odor smell. So basically, the design flaw is that the Model 3 and Model Y, the evaporator and the air filters, they're just sitting way too close. I found out that the evaporators, it will contain moisture, and the air filters sitting right on top of the evaporators, it gets moist and then it gets dirty, so it will start to emit some of that odor. And for other cars, for example, Model S and Model X, the evaporator and the air filters, they're not sitting right on top of each other, so they don't typically have this type of issue. So I shot this whole video. I decided not to do this whole project on my own, even though you can. I just did not have the tools and I don't have a garage to do it myself. And I had everything done. My car was smelling fresh. And 6 days later, today, I got into my car and there goes the odor. So I found out that just changing the air filters wouldn't make this odor problem go away. Neither would changing the air filters and cleaning the evaporator. So I am taking my car back later this week and getting the evaporator cleaned again. It is not that difficult to do. It is a minor service, but it is going to be sort of an annoyance moving forward, which I will live with because this car is literally super low maintenance to begin with. But I do want to share this design flaw so that you are aware, and hopefully in the future Tesla will figure out a way redesigning the car separating the evaporator and the air filter so they're not right next to each other. I am still going to show you the whole video of the air filter changing and evaporator cleaning process. Just in case if you do have this issue, you can either have it serviced or you can do DIY. I am here with Wilson from Parts Express. That's how you pronounce it, right?
It's even actually,
though there's a 3.
Yeah, but it's parts 3. The reason why we did that is the middle part of the word has the Model S, the Model 3, and the Model X. So the official name is Parts 3 Express, and it has the S and the 3 and the X in the middle.
Okay.
To kind of let people know that, hey, we work on Teslas, because any Tesla sees the S3 and X, they'll know like, oh, it's a Tesla thing. Yeah. So that's kind of the thought process behind the name. Okay, well, thank you. I wasn't too sure about how to properly pronounce. Most people just call it short Parts 3. People always say, just go to Parts 3, talk to Parts 3, but it's Parts 3 and then there's the letter X, so Parts 3 Express. Okay, well, thank you so much for that clarification. Of course. So now I am here to get my filters changed, and also I think it's cleaning of the coils, right? So I looked up the last time I changed out my air filters, and it was actually January of 2020. So it's not even 2 years. So Wilson, could you please tell us a little bit why this odor is occurring? Yeah, so Tesla officially recommends this service every 2 years, but from what we've seen, especially in LA, with kind of a lot of stop and go traffic, it's more like we recommend it annually. And the main reason is actually it's just the way the HVAC system is designed. There's a part called the evaporator. That's the part that actually, when you run your AC for a long time, you see the water drain out from the car. So that's coming from the evaporator. Right. So the air filters literally sit right on top of the evaporator. So the air filters end up getting wet from moisture. And then then the situation is you go somewhere, you park the car, the AC system shuts down after a few minutes, and you have an evaporator that's very moisture contained with paper air filters that are sitting on top of it. And that combo is just a bad combo. And not only the evaporator gets dirty as it is, just from air flowing through it, but in combination with the paper filters getting wet, that's why when you get back in the car, the HVAC system turns back on, and you're blowing air through a dirty, wet sock, if you will. That's where that smell, that initial woof of, oh my goodness, that's where the smell comes from. And then of course, as you move more air through the system, the smell eventually will go away. But it's always, most of the scenarios is right when you get back in the car. And that's just how it's designed, that those filters sit right on top of the evaporator. Okay. So when we go in there, we of course go in there, replace the filters, and then we do a chemical cleaning of the evaporator. And it gets rid of the smell. The cleaning agent we use has a nice minty, fresh smell. So if you get a lot of people's feedback, they say, ooh, it smells so minty afterwards. It's because there's a smell that's put into that cleaner. Okay. And you're good to go after that. Thank you so much, Wilson, for that. Of course. Another thing is, I know that for Model 3 and Model Y, they don't come with HEPA filters, right? So would it make a difference if I select to have my filters change out to the HEPA filters instead of another regular standard filter? Yeah, that's a great question, Joy. So we do offer a HEPA upgrade, which we're doing on your car. The HEPA actually doesn't increase the service interval of the filter itself. So we still recommend an annual, if you want to stretch out a little bit more, per Tesla service interval, 2-year service. But the HEPA does give you extra filtration. So it'll clean the air a little more, kind of take out some odors as it's being used. But it really doesn't extend the service interval. So just because we're doing HEPA doesn't mean it's going to last any longer, or the smell would stay away any longer. Okay, yeah. So I think a lot of people, they may have that misconception of if you're using the HEPA filter, it may just, reduce it or prolong it, but that's not really the case. Correct. It filters out more air particles, right? So for example, if there's, fire going on here in the LA, we are in the fire season right now. So last few years it would get really smoky, so then it'll be better to have that HEPA filter. Yeah, and it will kind of clean up the smell a little bit too as you're driving. If there's kind of bad odors from the outside, it'll filter a little bit out, a little of that out a little bit more than the standard paper filters. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you. Sure. And should we get it started? Yeah, let's go. All right. Let's go.
I know people can do this on their own. There are a lot of videos, but I just don't want to do
it's you know, we don't really, you know, we do this as a pretty basic service source. It's not like we're marking this up a lot. Right. And you know, just for us to have to get the filters, get the cleaner, and the car does sit for about 15 minutes after the cleaner goes in. Okay. So yeah, we just, for those that aren't the DIYs or don't have like a garage to do it in, we just, it's simple, it's pretty quick. We schedule these fairly quickly, and they're kind of in and out. So here's the...
that's a part that I don't think I can do myself because I don't have a garage. Yeah. And you have to really like crawl in there.
Yeah, it's really tucked up in there. So this is where the filters come out, and you'll see how dirty the filters are. Ready? Ugh. So the front part is yellow, so you won't see it, but it's always the back parts. So it's pretty dirty. Yeah. So this is one. And then here's the second one.
Right. Oh yeah, so, that is. Yeah, I got like leaves on it.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, I've actually pulled some out that's just way overdue, and they actually had mold. Oh, wow. Like little black particles on them. You know, the little mold pores on them. So yeah, it's definitely time for the service. Yes. You're doing it at a great time. So let me go ahead and put the cleaner in there.
Okay. So this is what it looks like underneath, and that little slot in here. This is where the filters go.
I don't know if I can sit this where you can still see it, but if the evaporator is sitting on this side right here. So if I don't know if you can peek your camera in there, you'll see.
I'll probably go like upside down like this.
So we'll go ahead and spray this evaporator cleaner in there.
It's foam, right?
Yeah.
So we just now let it sit?
Yeah, so we'll let it sit for about 15 minutes and let it do its thing. I put a little drip pan if you want it in a few minutes. You can kind of take a pan under the car. You'll see all the gook kind of dripping out from the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I can smell it. It is minty fresh. It is minty fresh. Yeah. So now we're waiting for the evaporator cleaner to set in before we can put the new HEPA filters in. And just out of curiosity, Wilson, how long has Parts 3 been around? How did it start? Are you a Tesla owner?
Yeah, it's a great question. So Parts 3 has been here for about a year and a half. I am a proud Tesla owner. One of your car junkies my whole life, did ICE cars, did a lot of track events when I was younger. And then I went for a Tesla event. Tesla took me for a ride back then, and this is like maybe 2017 or 18 in their Model X P90 back then. P90, I think D plus or whatever the performance version at that time. And ever since then, I'm like, I need a Tesla. So I've had a model. I currently have a Model S. I have had a Model 3 before. We have a shop car we're building, a Model Y Performance that's coming in October. So it'll be really fun. Stay tuned for that. And so yeah, we just started off kind of helping local, smaller, non-certified body shops get parts because fixing these cars is a challenge. We just wanted. My car was damaged and I ran over something, and a local collision center wanted like 3-4 months to fix, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do in the meantime? So that kind of started the ball rolling of us. And then people start saying, well, since you know these cars well, you've touched them, you take them apart, can you start doing aftermarket things? So we're like, yeah, sure. And so in this year and a half, we've become, a Mountain Pass Performance biggest SoCal dealer and installer here. We actually have our own inventory of products that we have on hand for Mountain Pass. For carbon fiber, we're also CMST, carbon fiber distributor and installer here in SoCal. So tons of carbon fiber stuff. And then everybody knows us for our underglow lighting. We do tons of underglow lighting for all the night events, all interior lighting, underglow, headlight lighting. So we kind of started off with the lighting first. Everyone wanted us to do lighting, and then kind of just morphed into we do full race prep for guys that want to do track days, Testa Corsa, to show cars that want lighting and airbag stuff done. And it's kind of like
it just grew.
Yeah, it just grew,
Yes, because so many more people are getting Tesla, so the demand is rising.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so we still do some collision repair, but that's kind of the aftermarket stuff's kind of taken over at this point.
Yeah.
But it's fun for us. We love what we do. We love seeing, all the cars. Like when we attend events and shows, it's just like, I don't know, sometimes I get teary-eyed just looking at the sea of cars that we've touched and we've worked on. It's just really amazing. And we love the Tesla community. They've been awesome for us. People drive. I've had people drive from Arizona out to install things, Mountain Pass stuff and lighting. Just the trust that we've gained in the community has been, it's awesome. And Marty and Will from Tesla Club SoCal.
Yes. They referred me. Yeah. They referred me to you.
Has been awesome for us. And I work, and also we work closely with Oliver from DIY Auto Detailing Supplies.
Yeah, and his car's back there being fixed.
Yeah, let's not look at it yet, but he'll reveal the after the fix soon. So yeah, just the support from the local community has been awesome, and it's a privilege to have you, Joy, come and check us out, and I'm glad we're able to do the service for you.
Well, thank you so much, Wilson. Now you can say that you touched this car the next time you see it at the meetup event. And I think your work and professionalism, they just speak for themselves, and that's why you get the word of mouth. People, I originally was going to schedule an appointment with Tesla, and they're the closest one's like 3 weeks out. And so I put it out on Twitter, and Marty and Will, they're like, why don't you just take it to Wilson? I'm like, okay. So that's how we got connected. And I'm so glad I'm getting this resolved right now, because that odor is just,
You're going to love the results. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Can't wait. So it's been 15 minutes. And now we're, all we have to do now, I'm just going to flip it, is just to insert the filters and then put everything back in, and we're done.
Yep, that's it.
Wow. Dirty, dirty, dirty.
All that brownish color. That's all the gunk that it drained from the evaporator.
Well, I'm so glad that this is done now, and my car is gonna smell minty fresh until next time.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much, Wilson.
No problem, anytime.
Well, Wilson, I'll be seeing you again real soon. I hope you have found this video helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time, and God bless you.